So you're a musician. You play music, you record music, you perform music, or maybe you just produce music. Producers are musicians too, no? Let's pretend they are just for this video, right? So recently as a musician, you've been feeling stuck. You're feeling like you suck. You're feeling like you can't That's inappropriate, isn't it? You've been feeling stuck, that you're not improving, that whatever you do, your parents are not impressed with you. Or maybe that's just me. But let's say that there is a solution to that problem, and the solution lies wherein this video. Is this the correct use of wherein? But what if I told you in order to grow as a musician, you have to do some things that are not very orthodox? Can you stay here, please? You have to do things that are not orthodox, such as the things I'm going to be listing in this video. I have 7 tips for you that are going to take you from the shitty musician you are now to a successful millionaire musician that is doing whatever you want to do. And why should you listen to me? That's great. That's a great question. First of all, because I oiled my chair. Second of all, because clearly I am a successful millionaire musician and you should listen to me. Also, why the number 7? Why 7 tips? You might attach significance to that number, but it's because it sounds better than 10 and it's more than 5. So this video is not for the beginners. It's not for people who just grab the guitar and want to start learning. No, go do the basics. I don't care about you. I care about the intermediates and even the advanced people who are just going through midlife crises, such as myself. This is not going to be like, oh, learn the major scale. Fuck the major scale. We're not talking about that today. We're going to be talking about philosophical stuff. Philosophy, mate. Philosophy. So now that this is out of the way, let's jump into it. Tip number 1, or rather tip number 0. Why is it 0? I'll tell you in a second. You have to dress for the job that you want, not for the job that you have. And the job that you want clearly is the job of Ahmar, because you chose the musician life. So you can buy this shirt right here, I believe. Beautiful white t-shirt. I'm sure you haven't seen anything like it before, but there's plenty of other stuff on the website. I hope you can't see all these hairs. Now that you're dressed for the job that you want, let's jump into tip number 1. Whatever instrument that you play, guitar, bass, flute, harmonica, my advice to you is to stop playing it. Hear me out. Take a break. Just stop. Don't touch it anymore. Why? This might sound counterintuitive, but it's counterintuitive, or just intuitive. Because when you stop to do something, you are able to recover. Have you ever heard of weightlifters who just train every day? Yes, you have, because steroids exist. But we're talking about people who are normal. If you go on a run, you're gonna need to recover after that. Weightlifters, you wanna grow a muscle, you don't train it every day. You take a break so that rebuilds. That's not the word. Rejuvenates, rebuilds. No, I already said that. You know what I'm saying. Everything that you do for growth is going to require a break. Because if you don't do that, you're gonna plateau and your body's gonna tell you, bruh, I need a break. You might think this doesn't apply because music is more brain than physically tasking, but it applies because the brain needs more breaks than anything else. Have you heard of these productivity hacks where you have to work for 15 minutes, take a 5-minute break? Same shit, 10 minutes have passed, now this is your 5 minutes. So take a break. If you're a guitarist, you use your fingers, stop using your fingers. At least for guitar. Start using your ears. So what does it mean to use your ears? It means use your ears. Listen. When you listen to music, listen to it as a musician and see what you can learn from it. Use it as a repertoire. Repertoire. How would an American say that word? Repertoire. Essentially practice active listening, and whenever you listen to something, learn from it and see if you can copy it, at least in your head, because we're not playing now, remember? We're not playing. But it's also very important to be able to turn that off and turn on your listener part. Listening not as a musician anymore. You need to be able to go in between these two. Which brings us to tip number 2. Are you ready for it? You're not ready for it. Stop listening. You heard me. That's it. We're not gonna listen anymore. So when I was feeling stuck, when I was feeling plateaued, I did tip number 1. I started listening to the music that I want to learn from. Well, this is going to improve you tremendously. Improve you? This is going to make you improve, and it was great. It worked great, I learned a lot, but I did it for too long. I didn't do the part where we stopped listening as a musician, start listening as a listener. No. I started feeling guilty if I listened to something that wouldn't teach me anything. What the fuck does that mean, bro? So stop listening. Just stop listening. Just to hear music. Or maybe even stop listening to music altogether. Start listening to things that are not music. Like your wife. That's not music. You get it? Wife bad? Good job. Stop choosing what you listen to and take your hand out of it and let nature do its thing. Go listen to a fucking waterfall, bro. Listen to the traffic. Listen to the honking of the cars. Funny story, I was listening to, I was playing ping pong with my cousins, and the sound of the balls was interesting. I was like, guys, this sounds like it could be the intro to a techno song, dude. And I recorded it. I was high as fuck in my defense, but it sounded cool. You could hear the techno song. Wow, so musical. Do you hear that? So to conclude tip number 2, stop listening to music, start listening to things that are not musical and find the music in them. Just try to find the music that you like again through not listening to music. I don't know, man, that makes a lot of sense to me. If it doesn't make sense to you, just click off this video. Just, you don't belong here. Tip number 3. Do you do 3 like this or 3 like this? Or who does 3 like this? Nah, that's weird. I'm used to this, but I want to be this. I want to be this guy so much, but I'm this guy. Listen to music you don't normally listen to, which is self-explanatory. If you don't like reggaeton, listen to reggaeton. I can't condone listening to reggaeton, obviously, because I hate reggaeton, and I should use my own tip for this, but I can't. Even better, if you listen to music you don't like, and the jam over it, try to make something that you like, try to sound good over it. So I'm not gonna linger too much on this tip, but listen to music you don't normally listen to and see why you enjoy it as a listener and see why you enjoy it as a musician. And I don't know, do something with that. Do something with that. That's up to you. I can't do all the work for you, bro. Okay, so you have to do something here. Tip number 4, we're still talking about listening. And this is where you should start listening to music from other cultures. Listen to traditional music of a culture and then listen to the current popular music of that culture and see how they connect, see the influences. So for example, recently I've been listening to Turkish pop, and you can tell it's Turkish because they're singing in Turkish, but you can tell the music has, you know, an Eastern flair, habibi. It's not just, yeah, like we're just gonna lose also form of identity. The music is going to hold on to the identity that it has. It's up to you to kind of make that connection. This will help you understand how the music developed from how it was before to what it turned into now. And it might help you develop yourself from where you are now to where you want to be. Tip number 5, when you write music away from your instrument. There's an instrument here, it doesn't show. Write music away from your instrument because you want to be able to write the music that you want to listen to, not the music that you play and you think that you suck at. The way I'm talking to you now, I'm not thinking about what I'm saying because I'm used to talking. I'm thinking and talking. But do you remember when you were learning how to read? Back in, when do we learn how to read? Grade 1, grade 2, grade 3? Preschool maybe. So when you first start to learn how to read, you have to sound things out because you don't really know what they sound like without doing it. You need to figure out the word before saying it. And it's the same thing with music. You need to figure out if this is something you want to say before saying it. And the best way to do that is to sound it out. It could be just, I don't know, hum it, sing it, hear it in your head, whatever way you feel works best for you, but do it away from your instrument. All the songs that I like, that I enjoy, that I have been written away from the instrument.
Every night in seasons cold, you're in my head like a merry-go. Every night in seasons cold.
This all really is about being a musician, being able to be a listener as well. Because sometimes you forget that people need to hear your music. You don't just create things and they go into the void. Unfortunately, these sound waves are going to land into someone's poor ears and they're going to be like, what the f? I'm talking to you in English or Arabic or French or Japanese. I'm using words that already exist. So you're going to know the meaning of them as soon as I say them, assuming you speak that language. With music, you're going to assume that nobody speaks that language and you're already creating words that don't exist. So you need to see how they sound and how these words can be received as the listener and not as the producer of that sound, not as the speaker of these words. So that is tip number 5. Tip number 6. I forgot what it was. Let me check the notes. Learn a different instrument than your main instrument, which means if you play guitar, Play the flute. Just get away from your instrument and learn something new. Go buy an instrument you wouldn't normally buy, or rent one, or borrow one, or steal one. That's not how I got these. So I'm not telling you to buy an instrument and become a prodigy. I'm telling you to get an instrument to get a gist of it. And don't just like buy it, play it in your room, throw it in the corner, but use it in a setting. Find some friends to jam with, or like a band or musicians, and use that instrument within a musical setting, and let the other people take care of the music that you would normally take care of. So don't talk to the guitar, talk to the guitarist, but let him do his own thing. And you're out here playing the pan flute. See what your role as a pan flutist is in a band instead of a guitarist. That was actually tip number 6 and 7 in one. A new instrument, jam with said instrument. I'm gonna have one more tip for the guitarists only, and this is for the guitarists who want to improve their soloing skills and improvisational skills. Assuming you're intermediate, you can't improvise for shit. That's your problem. But not anymore. I made it my problem, and I made a guitar course that could help you improvise. This course is aimed at the guitarist who wants to be able to play what's in their head already. So you sound them out, you play them on the guitar. This is gonna teach you how. Not just that, you're going to be able to jam over anything you hear, anything you listen to. Even a waterfall. There is no waterfall jam advice, but there's other stuff in there. Alright, this was it. 7 tips, 9 tips, or 8 tips, depending on how you count them. I'm sure this is going to make you a better musician, and if it does not, then it would have wasted as many minutes as this video is long in your life. And that's on you. You clicked it, you watched the whole thing, so. But as for the rest of you, take care, be better, and I'll see you next time.